to the live stream
Hey.
Thursdays. So
Ooh.
Mark and I were just catching up on dad life and life and
Mm,
what it's
yeah,
like to be both a dad and a designer and just a working dad actually.
yeah,
How do you love your how do you love your kids, love your wife, take care of them, but also provide for them, and
yeah.
you know this is very pertinent to what I was doing yesterday because I also struggle with this, right? Like,
Mm,
it's tough. Like, we had family in town basically the entire month, or we were with family the entire month of April up until like Wednesday. We still have family, but just less of it
yeah,
this this week. But it's been great. I love spending time with family, but it's also like super stressful because
yeah.
you're like trying to balance time with them and then also work. And I work on multiple projects.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I think helps in all of that, and this is what I was working on yesterday with Know Him, was gratitude. Dude, you'd
Mm,
be amazed at what thankfulness
yeah,
does to the heart and soul. Like, and this isn't just a spiritual thing, it's a quantum thing. Okay. So
yeah.
I'm going to talk
Fun.
about it because I think it's pertinent to people in the design community as well, us builders, right? There's a lot of stress going on right now. A lot of people are cutting
Mm,
back. A lot of people are scared. This is a time, there's and I'm not going to, just for a preface, right? We got yelled at for just talking in one live stream, which again, doesn't really matter, but we will build. We will build a lot. We will build on this live stream, just so you guys know. But philosophy time with Andrew, um,
one,
because I think it's
one.
beneficial, right, for our mental health. Gratitude does wonders to the soul, and
Yeah,
you'd be amazed at just, hey, in the morning, what up, Carol? In the morning, just trying to list down 2 or 3 things you can be thankful for. For me, I'm thankful for a great team. I'm thankful for a great wife. I'm thankful that we have great clients right now. That's a blessing, because we're not
yeah.
getting we're not getting like a lot of new clients. We're not getting a lot of new intake right now, right?
Mm,
But we have this sustained, client base that is, yeah, just amazing right now. We're really blessed, and
that's awesome,
we'll
man.
in the future we're in the process sort of redesigning, repackaging what we are at Kaleo so that we better communicate that to potential clients, because really we're not showcasing our top potential,
Yeah, yeah.
um, and it's been fun this week. I've been able to talk with 2 AI companies, sort of design AI companies this week, where we're gonna maybe, hopefully, potentially help consult and advise them, from a design perspective, how to
That's
lead
sweet.
development. So
That's really sweet.
yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. But let's go ahead. I don't know if you guys. I was going to do the AI agent like JSON format stuff, and I dove into that AI agent project, and there were some nasty bugs that I just didn't have time to fix. So I'm gonna skip that, and I'm gonna press the red button and just work on the prayer app. But if you guys have some questions specifically that you want us to touch on, that you want us to go over, I've had a few people tweet at me recently, like this week, like about the custom map picker that we did in the Stetter app, and then custom bottom nav bar, which we've already done on this live stream. So I don't necessarily want to do that. Um, but
Yeah,
what I was going to do today is focus on those design principles. So design details in development. That I do want to focus on that, right? That's the title of
good.
this live stream. That's what I put it as. But this applies to you, whatever platform you are building on. Doesn't matter if it's AI, doesn't matter if it's in Figma, doesn't matter if it's in FlutterFlow, but design details matter. And, I was talking with Mark earlier this week. We're designing out some landing pages, right, for some of these apps that we're building, and
Yeah,
there's content for those pages, and then there's user centric uh, user centric. How do we say this? Valuable content, right? Like,
there you
there's
go.
one thing, like I think I told him, like there's a way to tell the user what the app does, and there's a way to tell the user how the app provides an experience for what the app does. And
Yeah.
we need to provide more value in the context of what we give to the users, and that goes for development as well, right? Like as we are building out this project, we always have to think like, are we just building this because it's fun, or building this because it's cool, or what value does this provide for the end user? So I'm going to touch on that by just building out one of those things, right? So as we are, I'm going to share my screen because, and I'll do dark mode. I would prefer to do light mode today, but I will do dark mode for those that are watching at night. Okay, so for this prayer app we're building, we have this like prayer screen. Really, it should be like a calendar icon down here. This list view is not as intuitive as I thought it was going to be, but uh, we have this ability to pray, right? The idea is that you develop better prayer habits, and you can do this with almost anything, but better prayer habits. So we have prayer points. So when you first download the app, like, you won't have any prayers. So I added these prayer points. This is what you're adding. Um, this is sort of what you're praying through. And then we have recent prayers. And what I want to do is, as I was thinking about this, we have this list view. And the one thing you never want to do in any application is just provide data without the ability to dive into more details. So two mistakes that people typically make. One, they try to put all the details in a list view, right? Especially on mobile. It's very difficult and not comprehensible. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to provide a summary, a very small snippet of information here with pertinent information. So I have the day you prayed, the amount you prayed, right? Prayer points, and how long you prayed. Those are pretty good points for this. But I want to provide the user with the ability to drill down into this prayer to see the specific points that they prayed. So as you sort of create a list here, you can I'll do family because those are all mine. So yeah, as you sort of like create a list here, right? You have this ability to pray, and you have the ability to complete them or add notes for them. So you can, come in here, leave a word, or just like type in. You can even like you can leave an audio recording. Y'all, this is an audio recording that I'm doing on a live stream about this app, and I'm praying for Styles. All right. It's probably gonna, oh, there it is. You guys hear that? Well,
Yeah, I can hear it.
nice. Does work. So you can leave voice messages, you can leave words, right? You can even share. So if you, I'll move my simulator over here. So this little guy, um, you know, Mark and I, we have a prayer note that we're sharing, and so I can leave words, and they can just sort of be present on this. They can be present in this view, or I can say, look, hey, this is a public note. I want to share this with Mark, and this will send him a notification. It'll say like, hey, somebody's praying for your thing. Part of this, part of the idea of this app is that we share more encouragement um, in life, right? And this could be with just encouraging words, man. Just like, hey, dude, I'm thinking about you. Came up in my daily gratitude journal this morning, and I just want to let you know that I'm thinking about you, praying for you, so that we have this sort of like, yeah, so that we have this idea, um, and we can do things more in community. But back to that, let's go ahead and build out this details, because, as I said, that's a thing you want to do. You want to provide a drill down, a more thorough view for the user. And you can do this in any view. It doesn't have to be a prayer app, obviously, right? Any type of information you want. A quick overview. Look how many prayers I can view in a single list. A bunch. Look how well they load. Very well, right? So then we're going to drill down, and I want to provide some beautiful detail in this drill down. So I'm going to say, hey, add a page. We're going to say details. And let's see, I want sort of like a list view. Details and view. I'm just going to do this little guy here. For now, details, prayer. I. See, I just did that so I can get this nice header at the top. Boom. Because I'm gonna re-mess all this stuff up. Yeah, I should probably just built this from scratch. Okay, fine. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just build this from scratch so that we can just go through the process of what it looks like. So
Yeah,
we
that'd
have
be.
say what?
So that'd be nice to see it from the scratch.
Yeah. I think that gets overlooked too much. So prayer document. Go ahead and pass in the full document because this we don't need this to update, and this is not present on the web or anything. So you'll always get down to this. We're viewing it on the main prayer screen. We're diving into the document here, and then we're going to see the details. Okay, so we're going to have that name. So, oh man, I wish Command K like did everything. I wish Command K was like Command F and K together. Maybe FlutterFlow will update that. I'm going to name these guys. So I'm going to have a scrolling list. And I'm going to have a padding list. So I'm going to add another column in here. Boop. And this will be padding. I'm going to do 16 and 16. Do 12. And on that one, I'm going to add some space here. So again, this is all about color, right? Typography, hierarchy, all of these things, like they really matter in design. So we have this little guy, and we're going to connect this to the prayer doc, get property field. Let's go ahead and we do need a date. We do need a date prayed on. So, but the description is currently what we're seeing, the prayed on time period. So we're going to do that. Say prayer name. And then we can do a small little detail here. So again, hierarchy, right? You want to be able to, this can be large. This will be, let's go ahead and see what we actually have here. This is the description. Nice. Okay, so this is the prayed on, boom, sick. All right, so that's what we'll do. This description will be short and the other one will be large. Sweet. So that's great. Yeah, I actually want this to be, I'm gonna do this. Sorry guys. I'm gonna do that. Ooh. Okay, right there. Perfect. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of in spacing here so we can easily drag stuff in there. I'll increase the size of this. So prayer name, we can change that to combine text. So we're gonna combine text here. You prayed on, and we'll just do the created date or the prayed on date. Prayed on, time format, Thursday, May 8th. Sweet. The prayer description is here. And then we want some overviews, right? We have a prayer time and the total prayer items that we prayed. So I think that's in the description, but let's just say we're going to update that because we're going to have like a prayer journal in here. So we're going to probably do the description as the journal entry. And so what we want is some cards here. And I'm going to grab from my main, I'll build these, I guess, little cards from scratch. So we want 2 like high level cards that will showcase our stats for this prayer. 8 border radius, 1 border width. Okay. On this row, I want 12 pixel spacing, and I'm going to duplicate that, and we're going to, boom, expand those right there. That's nice. And then we're going to add some columns in here. I'm just going to write down in here, and we are going to left align that. We're going to bottom align it. No, top align is fine. And we're going to add some spacing to that column. So let's go ahead and add 8 pixel spacing. And we're gonna say total time. We're gonna do label medium. Let's add some item spacing here, so like 8 pixels. And we're gonna add this little guy. Um, we have the total prayer time here, I think. Prayer duration, yes. Prayer points, completed, description, total time. All right, I think this total time one is the one we want. No. Duration. Sorry, we saved like the integer of the timer, right? So like the total milliseconds, and then we save human readable, so like uh, a timer value. So 3 minutes 7 seconds, or 3:07, essentially. So I think this is it. We're gonna say this for the default, and we're not gonna leave this like that. We're gonna say, hey, we want headline medium. And let's go ahead and bring in an icon over here, because why not? We want some pizzazz here. And I'm going to say timer. So this will be a timer. Ooh, clock. Perfect. We can make that like 44. And we'll make it our primary color. Nice. And now we can expand that. Hey, move it to the bottom. Cool. All right, so we'll do that. And this is this. Yeah, that's a little better. We can update the height here so it's not so crazy. All right, so we'll take this and we'll copy it over here. And for this one, we'll say list or prayer items. So maybe like, yeah, this is fine. Total items. Total items. And let's see, prayer points, completed prayer points. So we'll just do that, and number of items. And we're going to do a little X here. So we can actually combine this text here. I'm gonna do another combined text. I love combined text. You should always use this, right? Super easy ability to add like prefixes and yeah, appendagers. So suffix and prefixes. So let's do that. That'll be the total prayer items. And then we want to see the total prayer items. So we're going to have another list view here. Dun, dun. Let's go ahead and have a list view. And I want that outside of the um, column padding. So perfect. And this column padding will start from the top. Okay. And in this list view, we want to have the prayer items. So we actually have components for that. But I'm going to go ahead and set this. So we're going to set this generate children completed prayers, uh, prayer items. And I'm going to set it from this prayer doc. Completed prayers. Perfect. Okay. And we're going to want to bring in those prayer points. So card, prayer links. Let's see. Prayer point. I think this is what we want right here. I'm going to bring this in. Sick. All right, so let's stylize this. I'm going to do item spacing 12, but the padding is going to be on the card itself. So we want 16 pixel padding here, left, right, and that's good. That's good. Okay. So let's go ahead and add in this padding here, or this scrolling for that column. There you go. Now, you're not going to have a lot of prayer items. You may have 12, unless, I mean, if you're super religious, you may have like 30, I guess. Um, I pray for like 4 or 5, and I do like a 5, 6 minute prayer. But I really try to focus on these things. So, again, I'm not the only person using this. So, what we'll need to do is we'll need to do a document from reference, because this is actually a prayer doc that we need. But we're getting this list here. So let's go ahead and do a doc reference. Carol, you had a bunch of questions on these doc references on Twitter. So we're going to say prayer point, because that's what these are. And it's that. We're going to do a single time query. We don't need to do this constantly. But what you want to do is prayer reference, single time query, and we can actually even cache it if you really wanted to, because we don't need it to constantly refresh. But then we can make sure you do a unique key, right? Prayer point document, document reference is going to be the unique key. We don't need that. We're going to say the status is the prayer point, right? We have a status here. So let's pass that in. And then the prayer point document, which is this. And we can do an action. I don't know if we need to. We're going to leave that blank for now. We will, what you can do here is you can see the prayer point details in a bottom sheet. And then we don't need prayer group because these aren't associated with prayer group. So, hey, not so bad. Let's go ahead and see some dynamic data in here. And I'm gonna just throw this one down here. And instead of that, I'm gonna say completed items. Your completed points. All right. Perfect. So let's come back to our, put this details prayer list. Let's come back to our main prayer page. And on this little guy, let's go ahead and create an action to go to that prayer details. Details prayer. And we're going to pass that document in from the prayer item. Perfect. All right. So now we should be able to get this. This is the first step, first stage, first step, right? What I would like to do, I was telling Mark this. So the idea behind these prayer points, yeah, it's done. Okay. Come on now. Prayer point, prayer item. Yes, document prayers. That's what we need. Okay. All right. The idea behind this is not just to see the prayer, right? Hey, not bad. Looky there. See? Okay, we want this off. So let's go ahead and shrink wrap. Hey, oh yeah, sorry. On the prayer details, I want this to be shrink wrapped. I just want one scrolling container. Okay. And maybe like some 32 pixels on there, just to give us a little bit of bottom space. Again, details matter, right? Details matter. So what I did was, and I'm gonna add a little bit of space here too, because again, as I'm seeing it sort of in production, right, with real data, you get these small tweaks that you want to do. So up here, right, I want this to have a little more spacing from here, and then on the scroll, I want the bottom to have a little bit more spacing as well. So let's go ahead and save. Let's push that. I love this. But yeah, so you have this ability to see, right? Mark Joy. You can like see these words. And if you prayed one of these words, like if you left a word for this prayer point when praying, I want to showcase that actually. So I want to, this is great. This like gives us some good clarity into this. We don't need this functionality, so we don't, this is just for that prayer list as well. But what we want to do is I want to include that word that we have for each of these. So we're going to do a few fancy things, and I want to design this pretty well. But this is not bad. I'm just gonna save that. I do like this up here, right? Details matter. So you prayed it Wednesday, May 7th, prayed for 4 points, pray for 706. And then again, yeah, this is just cool. So if we have this information, technically you don't need this information, but it's beneficial. It's a summary of what you did. 7 minutes total time. Maybe you could have a little more information around like the streak you were on, right? We have prayer streaks. So I don't know what Mark's on, but I'm kidding, Mark.
Man, what a call out, man. Calling me
I'm
out.
kidding, man. I'm kidding.
I don't miss a
But what I
day,
want to
man.
do is I want to showcase, like, I have this really nice design from Dribble. I'm gonna try to find it because I want to copy this concept. Um, and this is the brilliance of life
Could,
and design and all that fun
yeah.
stuff.
Could the top be, instead of you prayed for 4 points and prayed for so many minutes, could it also be like that we make a name for the prayer time? Like, for instance, like the name could be like morning devo, or some
Yeah.
morning devotional or something like that.
Yep. Yep. So we could actually use AI to do that. We could like use Gemini or something,
Shoot, that's a
or
good idea. Yeah.
or we could just basically say on your evening prayer. I think that's actually really good, Mark.
Yeah.
That's really good. We could basically just say, hey, on a conditional the condition, we can do a set a condition and say, look, if the time period is this to this, it's an evening prayer. If it's this, it's afternoon.
Mhm.
If it's this, it's a morning prayer. We could
That
totally do that.
Dude, that'd be sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. Okay. Give me a second. I'm going back into my notifications. Document, project. Alpha Vision Pro. Adding seats, adding.
And if anyone has questions, don't hesitate to ask. Maybe Andrew can answer for you.
I would love to. I would love to. That's sort of the point of this. So
Yeah.
this is a design that I really like, right? This is not what we're doing, more or less, but it is just this pattern, right? I love this. So we're gonna utilize this. This is gonna be the prayer
What do you
point that we.
What do you like about it? I want to get into your mind, your design mind. Like, what
I
looks good?
I,
Like, what
I
stands out?
love I love the simplicity of it. I actually really really like this external border here
Mm,
with the internal border radius is on point. Um, I really like that this is sort of encapsulating this, and they didn't just do white. Like it makes it. This is what you're looking at. This is the dynamic content. This is the explainer content.
yeah,
This
yeah.
helps set up the context you need for this stuff. So I really like this, like,
That is
so
nice.
much,
Yeah.
dude. Like there's another, like the other way to do this would be like, hey, all white card, a divider up top, you know. Um,
True.
but this design just looks so clean. So clean.
It does,
So
man.
I'm gonna utilize this format, right? This is gonna be the prayer word, essentially, the word that you receive for them. And then this will be
Cool.
the point that you prayed for.
Yeah, that would
And that's
look
what we're gonna
beautiful.
I think so. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. So gonna remove this. Boop. Let's go ahead and start our container here. Base container, 16 pixels, 16 pixel. I'm gonna give a border radius of 8. Well, border color, I guess, first. We're gonna do alternate. Border radius of 8 all the way around, and 1 pixel. We're gonna make this, for now, we're just gonna make this a little taller. Okay. And now we need, that's the thing we didn't do. We do still sort of need that prayer point. So we need a prayer point ref. So we need to do that. Update document, document from reference, prayer point, complete a prayer item. Perfect. All right. Sweet. So now let's go ahead and do our column here. Boop. And then I'm going to set it up, right? We need 4 pixel padding. We're going to left align it. We're going to do something there, container here. This background should be our secondary background, or sorry, primary background, right? Because this is going to be our secondary background. And I'm going to do just a slight border, maybe even like, I'm going to do 4 pixels, 0.5, full width, and we're going to expand it. Okay, let's go ahead and see that. Not bad, not bad. Maybe we do 2 here. No, I think 4. Let's do 2 and 6. All right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Cool. Now we need, obviously, right, we need a little bit of additional stuff here. So we're gonna just wrap that in a row, and let's go ahead and do like 12 pixels, 12 pixels. And on this little, let's do some item spacing, like 4, and maybe we'll do an additional 4 on this. And I'm gonna do spacing of 8. All right, cool. And then what we need is, this will be, okay, prayer points have the name, description, time created, the amount of times prayed for, and name is really what we want. Oh, and category. We have a category. So we'll do name here, right? We want to know the name of the prayer point. So let's connect that. Prayer point document, name. Nice. And let's go ahead and do our small here. And I'm going to do, we have a category tag. Sorry, I'm just trying to think. How we I want to make use of this space over here. But do we have any tags? User tag, card tag, alert, tag prayer status. Yeah. All right. Well, pixels. Let's go ahead and expand this guy over. Nice. And then this is the category. So we're going to do that. And in this prayer point document, we're going to say category. Perfect. And the default will be family. Okay. Now, this is where it gets tricky, because some of these things have words, and some of them do not have words. Some of them have activities, and some of them do not. But I need to go to my back end, to my managed content, and see if we're pulling this stuff in. The way I'm doing this, so when you create a word, you get this activity, right? And it has a journey reference, or sorry, it doesn't have a journey reference. It has a prayer point reference, and it has this prayer. Let's see, prayer ID, because the prayer hasn't been created when you create the word, and so we're essentially the prayer with this prayer ID. So I just need to make sure that my prayer points are saving with that. And prayer count, prayer reference. Oh, activities. That's what I'm looking for. Prayer ID. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. Cool. F3. Yeah, let's see. Sorry, I'm doing this on my side screen. Okay, so we have prayers and created by user F3. Okay. So let's go to our activity. Sorry, guys. This is Okay, this is nice. Oh, you guys want to know how I did this? Actually, this is I'm going to go through this because this is how you can set up a unique ID out like preemptively. Okay, preemptively set up a unique ID. So on the prayer items, well, I'll go through it because I'm going to do it. So on the prayer items, I apologize. This is a little prayer active. No. List, yes. Okay. I need to get to where's my view prayer point? That's sort of it. But where is the modal that I get to? Ah, there's a modal that we get to. Status, change status, word, edit, view prayer point. I think this is it. I'm gonna move this down here because this is a pretty important one. Okay. So we have this page view and we hate prayer point. Now we're doing a bunch of stuff on this prayer point. But when we create it, so I guess we can do it from the this list. Sorry. Sick. We have actions here. And hey, where's it's all the way in here. All the way in here. Okay. I go to my add note here. So we're bringing up that bottom sheet, that view. We have a Boolean. So if that Boolean is true, right? Here you go. Added to list. If that Boolean is true here, we're updating this component state to completed. We are adding the time created and, oh, come on now. Updated active per time. Yes. Where are we actually completing the item? Okay, so let's go back to that prayer point here. Probably here. Because I want to just get into this public word, private note. Yeah, right here. All right, so we're saving this prayer ID by adding the app state. So the way I'm doing this, sorry guys, I'm just trying to get to this. I'm utilizing the date timestamp plus your user ID, right? Your unique identifier to create a preemptive, because when you're doing this, the prayer isn't created. We don't create a prayer until we hit this this finalize button, right? But when we hit that finalize button, we should be using a custom ID, and that custom ID is going to be associated with those prayer with those prayer items. So again, sorry, I know that's a lot of like back and forth and convoluted stuff, but I think it's helpful because so many times when you're developing, you're going to have stuff that you want to do before you do something, right? So you have things you create before you create the parent thing, whatever. And so this is an easy way to do that. I just use I think I got a custom function that condenses the date time format to like just the date time. So 040302 plus like 1080 or whatever time it is. Sorry, 1045. Whatever the time is, plus your unique identifier, and combining those two together, which creates a unique ID that we can assign to the parent category. And then we have these words that we're creating, which gives us the ability. Again, sorry, I know that most of you are probably lost. Don't worry. It gives us the ability, because we have a bunch of words that we are associating with this prayer item. But when we prayed for it in this prayer, we want to get that word. So I'm going to do this little thing. And first I'm going to go to we already have a design for this type of thing. And it is in our notifications page. So prayer permissions, welcome. Let's see, some pages. I think it's notifications. Yeah. So we have this little guy with the same concept. Word. So there's a word, your friend's word. You are invited to pray for. Just trying to see which one we do. So we are utilizing, let's see, a word. Actually, this one is friend request or request, right? Word. I'm going to copy this more or less. And that invite to a prayer group, and a comment. Okay. Cool. All right. So let's go back to that prayer details because I want to paste that in there. And now we can undo this expanded, right? Let's go ahead and do that and do this because we want this to be dynamic height, right? We could say like maybe this is like a min height of 64 or something, you know. But yeah, we don't need that height. This height is going to be determined by the content within it. So let's go ahead and do another query. So we're going to do activity query. Okay. And the query is going to be, because it's not going to be just a document from reference. We're going to do an activity, single document. And yeah, we'll hide this. We don't need to, that's great actually. We don't need to showcase this entire container if this doesn't exist. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to say the prayer point equals this prayer point, right? This document, because we want it to equal, Mark and Joy, and the prayer ID equals this prayer ID, reference ID, sick. All right. So there's going to be times where you didn't leave a word, right? So sometimes you're just going to get this, you prayed for Mark and Joy or whatever's up here. And then there's going to be a time where you have this word. So, and we're going to say activity document description. Yes. We can also add a few more things. You could say like, hey, if I'm going to do this. I'm going to say like it's a private word or a public word. So I'm going to just your word. I'm going to say that your word. And we don't need this to be so prominent. So you could say just label small your word. And then down here, we will also say like, or maybe we do a row here. Yeah. And we'll just say public or private with a little icon. So I'm going to do a conditional here. Do we have a tag for this? I'm just trying to think. We'll do a conditional. The conditional, if this word was public, did we send a notification? So, yeah, is public. If it's public, so equals true. Here, there's a conditional value. We'll say public, and it's private. Sweet. And we're going to add another. Again, I wish that Command K icon. Perfect. I'm going to just increase or expand this. So we push it over to the left or to the right. I'm going to do 8 pixels in between, and I'm going to make pixels and secondary. And I'm going to do an I here. Cool. And I'm going to do an I that is hidden. Right. Sweet. And it's all going to be based off this condition. So if public equals true, show this. And if public equals false, show this. Isn't that cool? All right. Now let's see if this all worked. Oh, you know what? Final thing. Let's go ahead and make this. Let's give this a slight drop shadow. Just help it stand out from the background a little bit. I like that. I like that. Nice. Cool. And when we see this live, like maybe we'll. I'm gonna just go ahead and come out of this. Let's see. This will be. We can see Mark's work on the test welcome screen. Huh? Nice. Fun little animation there. Let's go ahead and see if we don't get any gray screens. Oh, sick, dude. Nice. Oh, this is sweet. Okay. Cool. All
Nice,
right.
man. It looks good.
Yeah, like not bad. Just added a little. I'm gonna do light mode so we can see that drop shadow. But
Yeah.
this way, I feel like this will be, hey, you left words for people. This should be different. 740 3 times. Yep. Yep. Fourth. Yep. Right here. Nice. And then we need to update this. This is not correct. Oh, we don't have a status. That's why. We need a prayer status. So let's go ahead back to here and do the prayer status. Perfect. And then the prayer count will be prayer point document, a prayer count. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So private word. And we could do this private word as part of this. I can basically say, you private word, or you shared a word with, Mark. Ooh, we could do that. Ooh, we could do that.
Yeah, that would be nice.
All right.
Have it all,
Right?
have it all in one place.
Yeah, like you shared a little word
Yeah.
with the user that you shared it with,
Yeah, that'd be cool. And then at the end, can you one more time, just like super short, go through how you made the ID for the word, for each word?
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, I'll do that. I
Yeah,
think
that'd be cool.
I like this a lot. I'm a big fan. Uh, we could even do like some different colors here if you wanted to, right? You can do like, hey, we have a lot of primary on this, so let's go ahead and do this tertiary, you know.
Right.
Um, so, but not so bad. Okay. Yes. All right. So we have like 11 minutes. I'm gonna do this one thing that's gonna be really fun, which is if this prayer word is public. Oh, because we have it here. Oh, okay, okay. So we need to do it all in here. All right, we can do that though. We'll do a little. We'll do a little row down here, and let's go ahead and I'm trying to think of ways to display users. We already have like the user tag. So let's go ahead and say use have this like tag right here. Sick. All right. Yep. And this is a row. So let's go ahead. We'll make this a wrap actually, because sometimes we'll have different. I wonder if we can. Yes, nice. So we won't show the icon on this wrap. We're going to share with the users in the prayer document. Oh, okay. Yeah. we're going to share with users in the prayer document. So this activity, public or private, when it's public, right, there are users associated with this prayer document up here. So that's who you're going to share it with. So we're going to actually set this other users.
Right.
We are
And
going
then
to set this prayer document list of users.
would you need to take your own user
Yeah.
ID out
Yep.
of it too?
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. That was my next step. So 8 pixels here, 8 pixels here, and we're going to just hide this. So this user document is going to be the other user item here, and we're going to get, again, that document ID. That's a unique identifier. And what we're going to also do, we're going to say, hey, look, if the condition in this list, so if this other user document ID equals mine, I actually think I need a reference, user reference document. Okay, this should work. Sorry, if it does not equal, then show it. Not equal to, then show it. Because we are actually involved in that. So we want the word here. Let's go ahead and make this like larger, this larger as well, just like that. I'm gonna say, all right, your word. I'm trying to think. Let's do this. Boom. I'm gonna do this same condition here. I'm gonna do here. Okay, public. You shared this word. You shared this, maybe public word. You shared this. Yeah. And then I'll add another thing on the back end. So you shared this. You prayed privately is what we'll do. So boom. This and this, public instead of private. You prayed privately. You shared this public word with, and we're going to now move this down here. Awesome. We're only going to show this if the word is public. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to say, look, is the activity, is the activity document public? If so, show it. If not, hide it. So we may not see this. But let's go ahead and do that. We did that in 5 minutes, and then we will have just 5 minutes to sort of go through the unique document ID. I'm pretty sure I use function on it. So custom functions are awesome. I just had ChatGPT write it. I didn't write it myself, but very importante. So perfect. Pray. Nice. You shared this public word with the following. I really like that. I'm going to add a little more space here. Boom. All right. Yep. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. What we're going to do is this has item spacing of 8. And since we're conditionally hiding it, I'm going to actually just do 8 on the right there. So we're conditionally hiding, which is giving us some space here, and I don't necessarily want that space. So what I did was, instead of making that dynamic, it based off of the element, and so when the element is hidden, it should remove that space. Nice. There it is. Nice. Same thing here. We can sort of like reduce this down to like 4. So that it's a little less space. You like it? You like it, huh? I think this is nice.
That's good to know about the conditional visibility. I was like wondering on some cases, I'm like, why am I getting like extra spacing? Doesn't make any
Yep.
sense.
Yep. So even up here, this is going to be a weird space up here. So what you can do is you can put these two icons in a stack, you know, um,
Mhm.
and then that'll really solve that issue. So because now they're taking up the same amount of space, we're still conditionally hiding them. But let's go ahead and dive into the prayer. So
Yeah.
prayer ID stuff. Hey, I'm really happy with this actually. I'm excited. This is gonna be fun. Right. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for humoring me and wanting us build this. Um, you know, it's a fun little thing. So, all right. The prayer item. So on the prayer, let's see, view per list. Sorry guys, we have so many prayer. Yeah, modal select prayer points. So on here, I think is when we create that unique ID, we're creating that. Essentially, what we're doing here, we're storing all of these prayer items in an app state. Okay, so when we add them to this list, we're storing them in an app state, and so you basically select, right. I think I went through this earlier, but you select, different items. We add them to an app state list, and then when you pray for them, this is just an app state list, and there's a total prayer items, and then a uh, completed prayer items, and that's all we're doing. And then we're saving those things from the app state to our Firebase document. So I think on this button, I am updating that app. Update a current prayer time. Yes. Okay. So prayer ID. This is where it's happening. I'm doing a combined text, and I'm doing time to unit. Look at this. No need for a custom function here. This is it. This is how you do it. This is how you create a unique identifier. Okay. Date timestamp to Unix, seconds. That's it. That's all you need. And then the document ID of the authenticated user. Okay. And then that's the prayer ID that we're creating. And this is what you get. I'm going to show this. So sorry, this is going to be terrible. This is actually really bad. I shouldn't do that, but uh, showing the UID of a user, not good. What it does is it gives you this number. So here, I'll edit something and just change a few things so that we can showcase the power of it. Add component link. I'll just do it here, but give me a second. Let me change a few things. All right. So on this, this is what we get from that. This number right here. Okay, and this is the Unix time, right? This is the Unix time. So I think it's like, month, day, something seconds, who knows, or the time of day. And then we have which would have to be down to the second. And then we have the unique identifier here of the user ID. So we're combining those two things. And we're essentially saying, look, create your prayer ID. And then when we create the prayer, we're utilizing that unique identity. So that's how we're doing that. Sweet. I hope that made sense. I hope that answered your questions as well. So again, this is just about design details and development, how the small things matter. So whether it's how you set eyebrows or subheaders, and then headers, how you display information. This is a lot more. This is a little more visually appealing than just showcasing time and it like this. Like I said, we're gonna have morning prayer essentially, just like Strava, where it just tells you like, hey, you ran in the morning, you had a morning run or something. You can always edit the name later, but then going through words, assigning those words, that are public. I'm trying to find one that's public. Oh, and this is one that doesn't have a word, right? So 2 prayer points. Let's see. Oh, no. I just want to show the last one, which is a public one. Maybe on May 5th I shared one. Nope. Unbelievable. Well, anyways, we'll just show it over here then. Prayer details, right? We are showcasing who we shared the prayer with. If we shared the prayer, there's a little toggle that essentially says like, hey, this is a public prayer item. I want to see this. So it goes here. And then if it's private, only you can see it. So awesome. Thank you all for joining the live stream. That's part of my gratitude, right? Y'all for joining and listening, watching, commenting. Look at this. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So happy building. Have an amazing Friday or weekend as well. Enjoy. So Mark, thank you again for joining.
Yeah, man.
So it's gonna be